On this episode of Project 1500, you'll get to watch me practice my acrobatics. And lose an argument with a wingnut. Get in there. There's no escape from Stalag 13. And I might be defeated, so stay tuned. All right, welcome back, guys. I'm calling this episode 3.5 of Project 1500 because it's not quite episode 4, and I'll tell you why. Those of you that have seen episode 3 know that at the end, I did an oil change and an engine flush. Well, after that was finished, I took the truck for a test drive. After about 10, 15 minutes, I was getting good oil pressure up to that point. Then the pressure started dropping and dropping and dropping as the truck got warmer and warmer. Got to the point where at idle, the gauge was only reading 2 or 3 PSI, and I had to put it in neutral and give it a little gas to get the oil pressure back up. And what that tells me is it may just be an electrical problem. But until I sort this out, I'm going to have to stop all work on the truck, figure out what I'm going to do with it. I like my cars and trucks to be as original as possible, as untouched as possible. I bought this knowing that it wasn't, so this is the exception to my rule. But at some point the engine's been pulled, there have been a lot of hands in it, the color's been changed. So I don't really know what I'm dealing with, and I'm kind of figuring it out as I go. So today we're going to change out this oil sender. If it's not electrical, I'm going to have to bust out the mechanical oil gauge, and we're going to have to go from there, because if it is bearing clearance problem, where the bearing clearance has just gotten too wide and people have been throwing thicker and thicker oils in there, that's definitely not my style. I might have to pull the engine. I don't really have the room for it here, so we're going to have to figure it out as I go along. But right now, I just want to verify that it's not an electrical issue, and we'll go from there. So let's get started and jump in. All right, so on these trucks, the pressure center is located here at the back end of the engine, right by and behind the distributor cap. So we're going to start by taking off the air cleaner. And then I'm going to show you guys how to flip the distributor cap out of the way without having to take it off completely, so you can get to your center unit. Next, we're going to take some tape, label our ignition wires, however you like to do it. We're going to do just the left side of the distributor cap. I just like to do it 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't have to correspond with the cylinder numbers or anything, just so I know where they go when I put them back on. 3 and 4. Pop them off. And ow. Might as well take our coil wire out too. Just reach down in there and get that cap off. Over here, might as well get a look inside our distributor. While we're here, looks okay for now, just on the surface. Rotor looks all right, not bad. All right, let's get to that oil pressure center. All right, now that we've got the distributor cap off, you can see that the oil pressure center is buried all the way at the back of the engine behind the distributor. If you could see it right here in the center of the screen. So guys, it is a pain to get to. I'm over 6 foot tall and I'm not tall enough. I'm standing up on a bumper right now. But just my little tip, make sure you get yourself an oil pressure socket, because it is going to be next to impossible to get a wrench back there and get the leverage that you need to take that thing out. All right, so there we go. We got the old one out. Looks like somebody put some extra Teflon tape on the end. We got the new one right here. Basically, we're just swapping them out to see what happens. Hopefully, I don't have to go crazy with the oil pressure gauge and stuff like that. So let's change them out, see what kind of rating we get. This is the part of the video where I fall and hit my head. Also, it's important not to snug this up. There should be some threads left. When you're finished turning it in, just get it to where it starts to hit the sealant and you start to feel a little bit of resistance as you're turning it in. There we go. Try not to break anything. Get our distributor back on. All right, we got our distributor cap back on. Now we'll get our coil wire and the rest of our wires. 2, 3, and number 4. And we're gonna do a better job of organizing these down the road. Throw the air cleaner back on. Start it up and see what happens. Get in there. Get in there. There's no escape from Stalag 13. All right, so I've done some pretty good stop and go driving. Took the truck on a couple short trips back to back to back, 3 miles here, 5 miles there, 2 miles there in stop and go rush hour traffic. Looks like at its warmest, I am getting about 14 or 15 or so PSI, which according to the service manual is actually well within spec. I think the minimum PSI at idle for this type of 350 is 12, so it looks like we're good. Oh, it's been a few more days, and unfortunately the pressure's still dropping, especially after driving on the highway. So I guess it's back to the drawing board. Apparently it wasn't the sender, so I'm going to have to break out the mechanical gauge and get back to it. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys on the next one.